my students, when they learn English, are worried that they don't sound fluent or natural, or that people aren't understanding their pronunciation when they speak. So if that's you, I think you're going to find the next conversation, the feedback that I give Esther in the second half of this conversation, very useful. And I'm going to give you some tips for how to sound more natural and more fluent as an English speaker. Welcome to the second half of my conversation with Esther over at the Australian National Museum. If you didn't catch the first half, make sure you do that. And don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button underneath so you don't miss any future conversations. Okay, so let's head over to the Australian National Museum for the second half of that conversation. So you mentioned University of Canberra. What kind of study did you do?
After 6 months, the language course, and then I did some Christian course called disciple training course at the Youth Mission for 6 months.
Let's pause there. Okay, now here Esther makes a mistake that is typical of a Korean speaker. In the Korean language, they add "e" to the end of the word. So she says 6 months. All right, and we need to cut that word off. So we need to say 6 months and cut it short. And that will come with practice. That's a habit that needs to be broken by repeating. Also, she has trouble with groups of what we call consonants. So consonants, if you know the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. Okay, so A, E, I, O, U are called vowels, and the other letters are called consonants. And sometimes consonants are difficult to pronounce in groups.
And then I study, after that I took the IELTS, and then I got a score to get into the University of Canberra. So I was able to study a Master's of Professional Accounting.
A master's degree, wow. That would have been pretty tricky with you know, if your English was limited. How was your English by the time you did the master's degree? Did you find it easy at that time, or?
When I look back, it was very tough time, and then I sacrificed a lot of my times. I tried to study at least 8 hours. I spent a lot of times to read the book and then to understand.
Wow. When you say 8 hours, is that 8 hours a week?
No, 8 hours per day.
A quick correction in here. Twice Esther uses the word time as a plural. She says, I sacrificed a lot of my times. Now, sometimes we use time as a plural, sometimes. Okay, but the meaning is different to this meaning. Okay, if we say a lot of my time, we imagine time as a big thing that we take some of, we take a lot of. Okay, we spend time. Okay, we're thinking about time as a big thing that we can use a bit of. All right, but when we use it as a plural, as in sometimes, I saw the movie 3 times. Okay, what we're talking about here is 3 different times. Maybe I saw it at 3 o'clock, I saw it at 10 o'clock, or maybe I saw it on Monday, the 21st of September. Okay, so these are times that we saw it. So it's different to saying I spent some time on my essay. Okay, so some time means we're spending some of all the time we've got. All right, so the meaning is different. So in this case, she should say, I sacrificed a lot of my time. She should also say, I spent a lot of time reading books. I spent a lot of time reading books. Okay, so here we have to make time singular, not plural. Otherwise we get the wrong meaning. All right, so let's move on to my second point, and let's comment about Esther's pronunciation, something that would really help her improve her conversations with native English speakers. Okay, this is a thing that English teachers and researchers call connectedness. Okay, so many people, when they learn English, when they have English as their second language or their third language, they want to divide all the words out. Okay, they want to clearly say every word and divide every word. But that's not what English speakers do. Okay, what we do is we make one long word out of all the little words. Okay, so you might say something like, I've got a bit of a problem, a bit of a problem. Okay, so instead of saying, I got a bit of a problem, a bit of a problem. Okay, so what did Esther say? Esther said, after that, so she ran that together quite well. After that, I took the IELTS. She separated each word. I would say, after that, I took the IELTS. I took the IELTS. All right. But how do I do it so quickly? It's a little tricky, so we have to learn some of the tricks to do this. All right, so here's the secrets. When you have a group of small words, you need to run them together. As I said, I took the IELTS. So let's look at this phrase, I took the IELTS. I is the first word and took is the second word. Now this is easy to run together because I just say I took, because we've got a vowel and we've got took, which starts with t. All right, and they can run together nicely. But what if I want to say took the? How do I say took the? Took the. It's difficult to run them together. So what we need to do is to take the k sound of took, and we have to make a sort of a sound. It's called a glottal stop. So we say took the, took the. Try that, took the. Okay, so then we've got our final part at the end, the IELTS. Okay, so now listen to how we say it. We don't say the IELTS, we say the IELTS. Okay, what have I done there? I've taken the word, so now we've got the word the, which we changed to the, because IELTS starts with an I, which is a vowel. Okay, we change the to the, and we add y to IELTS, so that we can run the words together. So instead of saying the IELTS, which doesn't join nicely, we add y. Now listen to this. YIELTS. Say YIELTS. I know it sounds weird, but listen to them together. The IELTS. See, it sounds so much smoother. All right, let's put it all together. I took the IELTS. Okay, I took the IELTS. Try that. I took the IELTS. Let's try this running together of words with the and other words beginning with vowel. So, for example, the word apple starts with a vowel. Apple. The word orange starts with a vowel. So if I want to say the apples, I had to add y. The apples. Try that. The apples. The oranges. Okay, now this takes pronunciation, but you'll find it so easy once you practice it a little bit. All right. So all these pronunciation phrases have to be repeated like the grammar phrases had to be. Let's look at Esther's phrases that I would like her to repeat for 5 to 10 minutes each night. The first one is after 6 months. Remember, we cut the E off months. We have to cut it short. We have to think about it when we practice after 6 months. All right, the second word was professional. We had to run P and R, together to make this word. So Esther was saying professional. We need to say professional. Try that. Professional. Okay, the next phrase was, I spent a lot of time reading books. We took the S of time, remember? So now we say a lot of time. Now, what I would like us to do is to practice connected speech with that phrase. Instead of saying, I spent a lot of time reading books, we'll say, I spent a lot of. Okay, notice I take out the T, and the T in lot sounds like a D. So listen to this, spend a lot of time. Try that. I spent a lot of time. You try. I spent a lot of time. Okay, and the last one, I took the IELTS. You say it, I took the IELTS. Okay, so that's all that we're going to be looking at today. And I hope that really helps you. I think if you start practicing connected speech, you're going to find yourself sounding so much more natural and so much more like a native English speaker. So We have a lot of interesting interviews coming up over the next couple of weeks. I won't spoil the surprise, but please make sure that you've subscribed and click on the bell, because the bell will tell you when my next video comes out, and you can watch the interesting stories of the people that we're going to be interviewing. Thank you very much for being with us today, and we'll see you next time.